it's good to see you, Charlie.
It's good to see you, buddy.
All
I've
right.
missed hanging out.
It's been a minute.
It has. It's been too many minutes.
Yeah.
Speaking of minutes, you know, somebody said something to me the other day. They said, you know, you've got kind of a look that's not very approachable. You know, you've got the bald head, the beard, the tattoos. And I'm like, I'm the nicest guy in the world. I'm totally approachable. And then there's you. You got the Jesus look going on. Who doesn't want to approach you?
Jesus, look. I don't know about that, man.
Or is it the paperboy look?
I don't know. This is the new paperboy hat look from Charlie Heron's private collection.
You're pulling it off well, though.
Thanks, man. I feel like I should be slinging papers here. Read all about it. Read all about the Beer Traveler.
So what the heck has been going on? Because I know there's a lot of people that want to know, and I'm sure this is probably a better way to tell them, because then you don't have to tell the story 10,000 times.
What's been going on?
Yeah.
Not a whole heck of a lot. I've been kind of out of the beer world for a while, you know, put the reporting and all of that on hiatus. Actually, my good friend and partner DJ Paul has been running the show for a while now. Since I've been out of commission, I've been taking a break from beer for a bit because of some medical issues, and but things have been good, you know, just battling every day, as you know.
But you're doing a good job of battling.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen a huge change since when it all came about to now.
Yeah, you know, I went into the hospital back in September of 2013.
Has it been that long already, Angelo?
It has. It's been over 6 months since I was diagnosed with a brain tumor. And I had a stage 2 oligodendroglioma, which is a type of lesion brain tumor they found in my head after a couple of grand mal seizures. So that was a huge shock. You know, no one expects to have one of those or a couple of those, and so yeah, you know, just been trying to focus on getting well and still keeping my feet wet in beer and in the beer world, but my main focus has been just getting better. And you know, it's been amazing that even though I haven't been able to drink beer much at all, I've been able to stay in touch with and find the support of a lot of friends in the craft beer industry still, which is great. It's a great community to be a part of, so I'm very grateful.
I'm with you, man. I couldn't think of a better community, and I think everybody has rallied around you pretty amazingly.
Absolutely.
I mean, every time I turned around, it was like I was getting another invite to another Angelo, raise funds, and we wanted to beat all of them, but obviously, you know, it is, life gets in the way, but we made the ones that I thought were definitely important. And because we believe in supporting you, man, because you've been supporting us from the beginning. I remember the first time we met, and you were like, so tell me what you're doing. And so when I pitched it to you, you were like, dude, it's great. I'm in. And from the beginning, you've really stuck with us, and we appreciate that, and we want to do the same for you.
Absolutely. You know, and anything to do with good beer and good people, which seems to usually go kind of hand in hand, I'm all for. You know, even though I might not be able to drink beer so much anymore, I still love the people and the community involved. Of course, when you get a little drunk and out of control, then that gets a little bit more annoying now, because you know, there's nothing more annoying than a drunk man when you're sober. But no, I'm just kidding. But
so people are looking for a DD. You're the man.
Actually, no. I can't drive either, because I don't know if you know this, but if you have epilepsy and you're having epileptic seizures, you're not supposed to drive a car, believe it or not.
That makes sense.
Or, you know, get in a bathtub by yourself.
Oh.
Well, no, yeah. Well, so unsupervised, okay? They don't have to actually have a person get in the bathtub with me, but like,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
It's not gonna be me, man.
I digress. Yeah, no driving these days. things have changed quite a bit. But, you know, I have to honestly say that through all of what's happened, I can honestly say that I'm more grateful and appreciative of my life now. Believe it or not, you have to go through some crap like this to actually sometimes appreciate what you have, and it's true, I do. You know, I'm not some kind of freak born again weirdo or anything like that, but in a sense I guess I am born again in that I'm appreciative more of the people in my life and friends like you and everyone else in the craft beer community and beyond who have stood by me through some tough times, and actually in the end it's been some really good times. So yeah.
No, and you, man, you've handled this unbelievably well. And in fact, when I picked you up this morning, I always forget how much I laugh when I'm hanging out with you.
Don't repeat what I said.
I wouldn't repeat anything you said,
thanks.
but I mean, you've always had that quick wit about you, and I'm jealous of that because I don't have that quick wit.
We don't have to do any more Fort George plugs here. I know you're a secret employee, but you know, no more.
Yeah, come on. Well, no, now we're gonna talk about these guys. Kombucha Mama. We might as well a shameless little plug there for them. It's a great beverage, and if you're trying to get healthy, I love it. And you know, I like hanging out with you because those are the days that I don't drink any beer on, and I don't have any qualms about that. I love beer. I love craft beer.
Is that why I haven't seen you in months? What are you in treatment now?
Yeah. So
all right.
I had to get off that. You know, it was the sauce. It was taking me in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But it's good to see BeerTravelerTV's going well, and you know, you guys are growing and evolving every day. Every time I see you, you seem like you got something new on the horizon. That's good.
We do. It's been a bumpy ride, but it's like anything, you know. It's life. You just take it and you go, and you know, it's kind of like what you're going through.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not anything like.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what the hell are you talking about? No, but no, things have been good. Again, a big shout out I'd like to give to DJ Paul, who he's you know, one of my best friends in the whole world, and also he's been carrying the Brewpublic.com site and
doing it well.
In fact, real well.
A lot of people didn't realize that he was doing it. That you weren't there. You were just kind of giving him some tidbits of information, but he picked up the reins and just took off, and it was seamless.
Well, yeah, DJ, you know, like I said, is, you know, one of my dearest friends, and so, you know, we have a real, you know, kinship there, and so he knows what's up with craft beer. In fact, he's been doing a lot of stuff with Brewpublic even before I kind of relinquished a lot of the control over to him, and keeping things going. Still, you know, number one, you know, beer blog in Portland, and thank you, DJ Paul, you know, and I love it. So yeah, and also the community of people who have, you know, like I said, have shown support. Lots of, you know, pubs around town, craft breweries, people have donated their time and money, because when this first all happened, I was you know, working a full-time job. I was also pub manager over at Falling Sky Brew Pub down in Eugene, and as well as, you know, doing stuff with the website. It was a kind of a tumultuous year, but I didn't have insurance, you know, and until actually got the Oregon health plan kicked in this year, a lot of stuff was out of pocket, and I had a lot of bills from, you know, spending almost a month in the hospital down in Springfield, and doctor visits, medication, all out of pocket for a long time. So a lot of my friends in the community, there's too many to name, but so many people have come through and helped me with some bills, and just a testament to how the craft beer community is just you know, it sticks together. And I'm very fortunate and honored and blessed that, you know, have so many friends and people that care for me, including yourself and BeerTravelerTV. So I'm very grateful.
We're honored to have you, man, because it's really been you that was a huge part of our success in the beginning, you know, helping us get rolling and giving us some good information. and moving in the right direction. So
Thank
we
you.
owe you a lot. I think the whole community owes you a lot. You were always out there plugging things and doing stuff and busting your butt and working a job. And
Well, the way I look at things in life is, you do what you love, you follow your passion, and the rest will come. The rest will follow suit, and that's what I've always done. I've not ever done anything with beer, just like you. I've never done any of this stuff because I wanted anything personal out of it. I mean, it's nice to get the perks of, getting a free beer here or there, maybe making a few bucks. But for the most part, it's just a wonderful community to be a part of and to be able to support and to know all of the people, in front of and behind the scenes. So, the people here working with you who are off camera and just people making the beer, people representing the beer at all levels, and that sort of vertical integration of craft beer that makes it a special industry. So yeah, it's been great, and I'm very, very happy.
I know I brought this up to a few people, but I remember when I injured my back, and for a long time I couldn't get out of the house, couldn't do anything. And then when I did, every time people saw me, it was always the same thing. It was never like, hey, what have you been up to? The first question was, how's your back? And it's like, I don't want to be defined by my back injury. I want to be defined by what I'm doing and who I am.
Sure.
So, and that's a tough thing, because you're gonna get beat up with that, because it's the easiest thing to talk about because it's right there.
No, it's true, and you get this a lot of the time because what I have right now is as I understand it, an incurable but treatable glioma, which is a type of lesion brain tumor, pretty significant size in my left frontal lobe. So. Basically, you're right. People, it's one of those things people tiptoe around. They don't want to ask, but they're curious about. And so, they're afraid to know. But I make light of it because I figure, what's the big deal? It's one of those things you can, feel sorry for somebody or feel sorry for yourself. But it's, who really cares? It's just what it is. And, you don't want it to define who you are, but it's obviously like that white elephant in the room. So whatever. But yeah, you're right. When I first went into the hospital, that was all I could focus on. Still, it's a huge part of what I'm able to focus on right now is
well, absolutely,
is trying to come and come through this and come out stronger. So I've tried a number of different approaches to better health, and trying to seek longevity to my life, and so far so good. There's some side effects of some of the medications I've been on. Luckily, I just got out of the hospital yesterday. I was in the hospital.
I can't believe you said yes to sit down with us today.
I was doing pretty good, but I'm trying some, I don't want to say kooky, but unique diets. It's trying to starve off some of the cancer, and with some success. Trying to keep seizures at bay because I do suffer from seizures. I was on a outlandish amount of medication for a bit, and fortunately I met with some new neurologists since in the hospital who are trying to cut way back on my meds and trying to do a more healthful approach to the situation, which I feel good about.
Nice.
So when I first came out of the hospital, I was in everything, the diagnosis, I was in sort of a denial phase. I guess this is pretty common, the different stages of grief that people go through, as I understand it. And I'm like, I'm fine. I can have a little bit of beer here and there. I can do this and that. All this stuff. I was like, I didn't want to admit that life had really changed, but it had. And so I hit a bunch of walls and then realized, okay, it's time to start taking this stuff seriously. And so I kind of had to let go of doing the whole Brewpublic craft beer, thing. Can't go out as much because when I came out of the hospital, I was right in the midst of getting the Killer Beer Week that we do every year organized, and I was already waist deep in that and finished it. And a lot of those events turned into fundraisers for me, which I'm thankful of all of the places. Most of the places that we did the events at, we did 12 events over 10 days between Portland and Eugene. And a lot of those turned into fundraisers. A lot of the venues and breweries were so kind as to donate a lot of their beer, and the pubs donate their time, and people, some people not so much, but most people did, and I'm very grateful for that. and it worked out really well. It was a good time to do the beer week because
Well, in what year do you decide to make it bigger and better? You decide this year, and I thought you were crazy even before we knew that you had any health problems, expanding it. Because I remember last year when we spent the whole week doing every event together, and I had more fun that week than I've had in a long time. But I know when that week was over, I was beat. It was like, I can't believe he does this once a year. It was nuts. I mean, we were running the whole time. We were getting up early in the morning, trying to get stuff posted, things taken care of. And then before you knew it, we'd had something to eat, and then we were off to the next event.
Yeah.
And then this year, you just decide that, you know what, let's go bigger. Why not?
It's true because I spent a year in California, coming back and forth, visiting with you guys a lot up here. But I spent a year in California and moved back to Eugene, and so decided, let's make Eugene a part of the whole event because Eugene's a great beer town. I mean, even would like to go bigger, but then that maybe Bend or Astoria, other Hood River, these other great beer towns.
Yeah.
But
how spoiled are we up here?
It's almost like you can't wrap your head around how much stuff there is to do. So the boom's taken off, and it's become more mainstream to a degree, especially in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh yeah.
And so we're seeing so much stuff happening with beer now that people are getting into the craft beer industry that maybe wouldn't have even dreamed of 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So it's pretty amazing. And now people are talking about is the craft beer industry becoming oversaturated? Well, I don't think that it's going to happen that way. There's still a lot of room for the smaller, brewer and craft beer merchant to have a place in the industry. And it's great to see a lot of these bigger breweries like Widmer and Deschutes and like Sierra Nevada and those embracing the small brewers, and it's a great community. It's not a very highly competitive community, and I think we're at one of the best times right now to be a beer lover and a beer drinker, to see so many different kinds of beers and so many different kinds of people involved in craft beer, more women involved in the beer industry, more.
It's changing.
Everybody. So.
Well, and you hit on a piece right there talking about different craft pieces. There's craft coffee now. I mean, Portland is known as one of the best coffee towns in the country. We're known as the best beer town in the world. Cidery is coming on like crazy, and I just don't think it'll be very long before somebody says, well, they're the number one cidery town, and craft wine and craft distillery. I mean, it's nuts.
Yeah.
And I like where it's all going, but what I really hope is that they take one thing from craft beer, and that's the community, because it's the community that makes it so strong, and that's why it's grown so fast, and it's built this incredible base of all these great people, and that's why I don't think we're going to see it go anywhere anytime soon. So.
No, it's great. It's great to see the passion, and if that means saturation, well, that's okay. Is there really too much of a good thing? I don't know.
I don't think so.
And maybe there's people out there who had carved a niche in the community or the craft beer community. Maybe that's seen as more competition, but it doesn't really feel like that. It just feels like people are more integrated with one another, and the interests kind of overlapping more. So it's good, I think.
No, I agree, man. I love it. I love the fact that you're just doing so much better, and the fact that you were willing, just got out of the hospital yesterday. That still blows my mind. And decided, oh yeah, what am I going to do with my my Wednesday? I'm going to go hang out with Charlie, and we're going to chat about what's going on in my life. And that's always a little bit daunting too, because when you start talking about things you got going on in your life, it also kind of makes it even that much more real. I don't know how to put that to you without it sounding goofy, but I know when I started talking about what I went through, it's like, oh yeah, and I've overcome a lot of it, and so my life is completely different. But like what you said about having that change how you view life, that did that for me, because I wasn't spending any time with my kids and my wife, and I was just consumed with work, work, work. And then all of a sudden I couldn't. And, you know, I can't say I have the perfect relationship with my kids, but I think I have a better relationship than I would have ever had that not happened in my life. And had that not happened, my wife and I were actually talking about getting a divorce. So we were going through some rough things. And it sucks that it takes these kinds of things in our life to make us realize how great we really do have it. And then for you, change your eating habits. So see, I should get off this bench when we're done and go in there and go, okay, it's time to eat differently. Because if Angelo's realizing this,
that's one way of looking at it. But you know what? To be honest with you, I don't really think a lot would have changed so much with me, with diet and all of that, if I wasn't put in a position to have to change. So, you know, I don't want to be in a position where I'm telling people, like, you should do what I'm doing, because if you don't, you'll end up like I did. You know, not at all. Enjoy your life, you know, enjoy where you're at. I don't want to be some poster boy for, like, you know, this is what you'll end up like if you keep drinking beer and having too much gluten all day. But
there is something to be said about, we're really bad about not scaling things back in our life. Like, you know, I'll have some ice cream and I'm like, oh man, that was so good, I'm gonna have some more ice cream. And that's just dumb, you know. I should have stopped at just the one bowl. But then also, what size is my bowl? So, anyways.
Yeah, no, the key is just enjoy your life. That's it, really. Appreciate it. Just don't look back too much on the past and what you could have changed, because you can't change. You can't cry over spilt milk, as they say. And looking ahead, don't stress about the future too much. I mean, obviously make preparations for, you know, putting yourself in a good position in the future, but really don't have too much anxiety looking forward, because then you'll just stress yourself out. You want to really just try to enjoy where you are. That's all there is to it. I mean, people stress all the time. It's like, oh, is the day over yet? You know, you hear people say that, or what is this week over? Is this year over? Is, like, you know, bitching about the past. It's like, you know, really just enjoy it. If it's raining, if it's cold, if it's winter, if it's whatever, you know, you still have an awesome array of beer if you like beer. And if you're not a beer person and you're watching this, well, you know, there's lots of things to be grateful for.
Snowboarding in the winter.
Whatever it
Skiing.
is. Whatever it is. And,
Yeah.
and you know, there's always something to be grateful for. And, you know, easier said than done. Maybe you need a brain tumor to get to that point, but I hope not. I hope that you just enjoy your life. You know, I hope that's what people can do. And whatever your passion is, follow it. You know, just happens for us to be craft beer, but there's all kinds of great things out there.
Yeah, this applies to everything. It doesn't just apply to craft.
I mean, there's wine too. There's you know, liquor, the kombucha.
And kombucha, yeah. Dude, I love this stuff. Well, hey, man, I just wanted to say thanks for hanging out.
All
Cheers.
right, brother. Yeah,
it was an awesome day.
Yeah, it's always good to see you and the Beer Traveler crew.
We just need to do this more often, but
Yeah.
not like this. I mean, as much as I like these guys back there, I kind of like just hanging out and chewing the fat.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's been really good. Thank you for having me.
No, it was my pleasure, man. Cheers, brother.
Cheers, homie. Cheers, Beer Traveler.